Others are putting on gloves. I'm not putting on. To me, nothing like cholera virus. Because the Bible says we will hear with our ears. It shall not come near us. So with me, I don't think there's nothing for me to be panicked about. Cholera virus is not in the Bible. So anything that is not in the Bible to me cannot happen to me.
Would you call the cops?
It is Pulse TV VoxPop. My name is Layemi Fearless, and as always, we are on the streets of Lagos once again. And today, we are making reference to 35 Nigerian senators who came into the country and allegedly refused to subject themselves to the coronavirus test, a test that could make or mar the safety of a lot of Nigerians. How do you feel about this, that lawmakers are refusing to test themselves for coronavirus? And also some more things. How do you feel about the year 2020 so far? And also the Chief of Staff to the President, Abba Kyari, allegedly testing positive to the coronavirus. What do you think about this? We'll be asking people these and more on the streets of Lagos.
This year, 2020, is going to be a great year for me. I don't know about. It's been wonderful. Yes, and I don't see. Let me say negativities and all that. What I see is opportunities. I don't see problems. I see only opportunities. So that's how the year is for me.
2020 to me is my year of unlimited sweetness. Normally, before good thing will come, you must pass through one temptation. So to me, 2020 is going to be a year of unlimited sweetness, unlimited favor. For sure, temptation must come in. But those who know where they are going to, they can never drop. So that's all I have to say.
That they have been promising us that everything is going to be all right, everything is going to be okay. Now we have been in 2020, but nothing has been done in 2020. So we are still expecting government to act the way they promise us in this country.
How do you feel about year 2020 so far?
Year 2020 is still 2020 is still very we are just starting. It's just that unfortunately we are starting on this note. But I'm still very hopeful that, you know, behind every hole is a silver lining. I have hope that things will get better.
Oh, horrible. It's been a lot, but all the same, I want to give thanks to God. I pray that God should protect us and God should keep us far away from all this disease. Most of us that we have not been infected, I pray that God should not allow it to come close to us at all.
Yeah, 2020 is a year of manifestation because God has showed himself in various ways. Like the coronavirus now, it started from China, the country that has the best technological country, technological advanced country in the world. It started. So God has showed himself, and this should tell us how great God is. So this 2020 is a year of test, and it is a year on our course. So we have to just subject ourselves to God. That's all. That's what I think about this year.
And they should go and run the test. At least I saw a news that stated that our president is negative. So any person can go and test himself if he or her is not sure. But to me, I am okay. I can touch anything touchable. So I am okay.
Yeah, actually, this is the problem that we have in this country. The government we have is still the government that provide the law, and they are still the one breaking the law. And then I see no reason that the lawmakers will refuse not to go for tests so that they can solve this problem in this kind of situation. A lot of people, according to the explanation, that 40 people have been detected in Nigeria. And if you look at the situation right now, it's not common with all these poor people. It is the rich men that brought this thing inside this country because they enter plane, they go out anywhere they feel like traveling, and they contact all these diseases and bring it here. So they're not supposed to bring this situation to us, and then they refuse not to go for their test. Everybody is made to go for tests and see how their situation is.
To me, for that, it looks very scary, because it's a very dangerous thing Or the first thing I know in this scenario of coronavirus is once you feel that you are coming from high risk area, the first thing for you is just to self-isolate, then you do testing. So for our legislators to now come from all these kind of places and refuse to subject themselves for testing is a very dangerous development.
It's really appalling in the sense that how can our lawmakers who are supposed to keep us safe be the ones putting us in endangering our lives, in the sense that they know they came from a country that has this thing in a higher rate, and you got into Nigeria instead of going for tests to be sure, or even isolate yourself for a period of 14 days like they said, so which to know if you have it or not, you are refusing to do it. It's extremely very wrong, because they are supposed to be leaders by example and not the other way around. So I think it's very bad, very bad. And if any of them should see this video, I'm saying they should take a bold step by going for it. Besides, coronavirus is a death sentence per se, but it's still curable if only you get tested on time and start treating yourself.
No one knows when this virus is in you until 14 days later. If it were to be an ordinary citizen, because I saw an actress yesterday on her Instagram page where she made a post and said she just got back from the UK and she was isolated, and she did not argue to it because she cannot. Now because they are lawmakers and they feel that they have the laws in their hand, they can do anything, and they refuse to go and quarantine. It is very, very wrong. They are putting the people who entrusted them in that position at risk. We are finding a way to get this thing cleared up from the country, and they are finding a way to spread it around. If they don't go on isolation and get themselves checked to see if they are positive or not, how do we now get these things cleared?
I think that is wickedness. They don't want to be the victim alone. They just want to spread the disease, and which is not good about that.
They should all be arrested. It's a criminal thing that they are doing. What do they have? What right do they have to endanger the lives of their wives and their children and their relatives? They are Nigerians like everybody else, and this thing is a general problem that everyone should take seriously. How can one man refuse to be tested? That is very crazy.
They are being selfish, because let me say they are being selfish, yes, because maybe they don't want people to know that they are infected with the disease or something. They are not protecting the country they are meant to protect. So that's what I feel. It's very necessary if you flee in from another country that has the disease. You ought to go for tests and everything to make sure that you're good and everything, to prevent others from getting it as well. But this one that they say they cannot do it because they are lawmakers. You are the one that are keeping the laws. So why are they the one breaking the laws? So it's not nice actually.
I feel unsafe. I feel unsafe because if our leaders can't do that, that means we Nigerians are not safe. If they can't subject themselves to that test, that means they don't even care about us. If they think they has it, for them not to subject themselves to that test, that means they also has it.
That aspect, they said no shutting down of churches. At first it was 50, from numbers of 50 to 20. And like in some areas in Shagam, I saw cases on internet where they arrested some pastors, they beat some members in Shagam. If they stop people from going to church, I wonder where they want us to run to, who to cry to. Because in the book of Jonah, chapter 1, when Jonah was in the boat that he hid himself, everybody inside that boat, they were calling to their own gods. They said, everybody pray to your own gods. Now, if they stop the Christians from praying to their God in church, they stop the Muslims from praying to their God in the mosques, I wonder who they want us to pray to. So that shouldn't, at least for the 2020, the number of 20 they said we should reduce to, is still okay. I don't see them as members, just as prayer warriors. When they say church people to reduce to the numbers of 20, they mean they should join their heads as prayer warriors, not just as church goers. There are people that when they are in church, they are just bench warmers. But the people that are really ready for this prayer, that is the 20 people, are prayer warriors. So that's it. So the idea of closing down churches, I don't see to it.
So this coronavirus, everybody are suffering for what they don't know. I came from Ikeja Electric right now. I'm staying in darkness in my house, and then there's no light. I went there, they shut down. I'm not happy paying my transport, and then nothing has been done. So it is because our lawmakers refuse to submit themselves, then for government also to find solution and let everything go that way.
To me, it's a welcome development, because one of the most important, one of the most critical way of combating this virus, one is this lockdown of a thing. For example, if you look at China, in Wuhan, where this thing originated from, one of the things they did that really helped them to combat this thing is the total lockdown. Because Nigeria today, despite the fact that we have a high population, so it becomes more dangerous, and in the fact that you don't even know how many people now have been infected. You don't, with our poor, state of health and medical whatever. So the lockdown initiative, to me, is a real welcome development. So some people tend to complain about, if they lock everything, what about their income? What is your income? Can you compare income to your health? It's not comparable. So the best thing to have happened is a lockdown, and I even expect the government to be more serious and more critical about this.
Yes, I do. It bothers me, but on the other hand, I feel they have to come out, they have to survive. Because right now, it isn't even about the virus and the streets and the people. It's about hunger and the streets. Because it's not like they don't want to stay at home. But if they stay at home, what would they eat? I found an article online where it was being said that Germany, Italy, the UK, USA sent out relief materials, relief packages worth trillions of dollars to provide for them while they stay in quarantine. Now they're asking Nigerians to stay in quarantine. How do they do that? What measures have the government taken to provide for these people to stay in quarantine? Would they stay in quarantine in hunger? And now, the way we can quickly attack this thing is if we actually stay in quarantine like they have ordered. So they can know how many people who has it already and those who are not.
I'm not actually comfortable with everything that is happening, but just to prevent the virus to go around, they just have to limit some things, like students to be at home so that the parents will guide them very well, look after the children, and business also. But I know it's going to affect us as individuals, but for me, I'm praying that God, there's nothing God cannot do. God should do something, and we should contribute and let me say, let us come together as one, so that people that are coming from outside, they should go for the test, so that other people will not get contacted with this disease.
I think it's better, it's safer, because me to be in particular, I like going out a lot, mostly to the cinemas and to the mall. But when I heard that one of my favorite cinemas is shut down, I was like, wow, so this thing is really real. And I think it's the best to prevent people from getting infected. Though a lot of people have been infected already, but shutting down places and it's nice. Like, they are doing the right thing, to be sincere. They are doing the right thing.
Putting on glove, I'm not putting on. To me, nothing like coronavirus. Because the Bible says we will hear with our ears, it shall not come near us. So with me, I don't think there's nothing for me to be panicked about. Coronavirus is not in the Bible. So anything that is not in the Bible, to me, cannot happen to me.
Yeah, and in some offices, and if you don't put your glove, if you don't wear your mask, I don't think they will allow you to enter office, because I see some that way. And then even some drivers, I saw them covering their nose and then wearing a hand glove. I think that's a very good idea.
Moving around and seeing people with the masks and the hand gloves, one, it doesn't make me panic per se, but it just it makes me see the whole thing from a different perspective and make me to be even more cautious. Like, for example, for some time I go out without the mask, without the glove, but I know, knowing what was around, what's in town, it makes me become more cautious of everything I do, who I talk to, how I talk to the person, how I touch the person, how I relate to the person, even rails of door handles of cars. Even when I see the people in the car, it just makes me to be more conscious of my environment, seeing people with the masks and the hand gloves.
I don't really panic because I already know the situation at hand. Do you understand? But for me, I think this with the hand glove and the face mask, I think it's for prevention. Yes, that's what's...
Well, so far, it bothers me because I see a lot of coronavirus. But for now, coronavirus is still on TV for most Nigerians. We haven't come into contact with the disease. I don't know anyone who has broken down with the disease except from the, popular people in government who have broken down with it. The ordinary man on the streets is just being careful, but frankly, we haven't seen it.
Kind of. It makes me panic somehow because it's making the thing look so real and everything. Even the news, what we are seeing in news every day, you wake up to your television, to your radio, whatever you're hearing is this pandemic disease and everything. So it makes it look so real and it's getting scary.
I'm not panic, right? But I have to be panic at the same time because I've heard a lot of news based on this COVID-19, which I heard it is easily transmitted, and to be self-conscious and to follow what the health practitioners have said. So I have to make use of it so that it won't affect me also. So that's how I have to do it. It's not because other people are doing it, but because I feel I will be safe if I do it. That's why I did it. That's all.
I'm optimistic. I know I was saying something to myself that the fear of coronavirus is the beginning of hygiene and cleanliness. That's it. So that's what I feel, to make everybody to be more cautious. Thank you.
Yeah, the situation in this country makes someone to be panic. Even I personally am afraid of getting closer to someone because the situation is worse. So I don't know what the government is trying to do to enable people to go out and find their daily bread. Because everybody it had been indoor for how many days now. So we are still looking at government, what they can offer us as to solve the issue of this disease.
To me, Nigeria is too expensive for coronavirus to come in. There are sicknesses that cannot even cross their boundary. Ebola should ask Gonorrhea should ask Ebola what he faced when he came in. So people in Nigeria, they are too rugged for coronavirus to penetrate in. And I had someone that said coronavirus cannot catch the poor masses. Yes, it cannot catch us. So panicking of distance, I'll be putting on of glove, though for our own safety. But I know Nigeria, our blood dey hot. So coronavirus no fit penetrate. Abi, you want make I touch you? Just pack away.
Well, bird flu couldn't take us, swine flu couldn't take us, Ebola couldn't take us, SARS couldn't take us. I don't think Corona has a chance.
Anyway, to me, it doesn't really make me panic because one thing is very clear. One thing that is critical here is ignorance and knowledge. First thing first, people should try as much as possible and have knowledge about this thing. Because a lot of things today are being done out of ignorance. Number one, you see people wearing nose masks. As far as I'm concerned, you are not supposed to wear nose masks, except unless you know that you are already having that symptom, or you have stayed with somebody, you are caring for somebody who has a symptom or who has a sickness. But you see people today wearing nose masks everywhere. It's very wrong. But for hand glove, it's really there's nothing bad about that because you tend to touch things around, and one of the areas where you can contact this virus is touching the surface where the virus is infected. So it doesn't really make me panic because I try as much as possible to get myself aware and get some knowledge about this thing.
I can't really say that I'm cool, but at the same time, I'm not hysterical about it. It scares me, yes, that there's a pandemic going on and over 600 people have died just yesterday in Italy, but what's the use in tearing your hair out about something like that?
Yeah, the result is if government is not acted the way they should act, I think it's going to take a lot of people's life, because I heard in some other country they are burying people 700, but in this Nigeria I pray that we should not contact more than this, because it's not good for us. We don't have food and we are dying. So disease added again, I don't think it's a good idea. Government should help us and do something in time.
And of course, we will feel the effect in the long run, because anything that affects the economy affects the whole nation. So it will really affect a lot. It's affecting a lot of things and it's spoiling a lot of things. But in the long run, it's just a lesson. But the moral part of the lesson, the moral part of it all is that there are some things that your money cannot buy. There are some things that your status cannot help you with. This thing is for everybody. It's irrespective of nobody. Anybody can get it. So, but I think in the long run, it will just make us to be more social conscious of ourselves and to be more as in this sanitizing thing, sanitize ourselves properly and just be more conscious.
It's a question that I have to answer in 2 weeks' time. Because you see, it is no doubt that the virus is already here. And they say that it has an incubation period of 2 weeks. If in 2 weeks' time it is not the disaster that I'm praying it's not the disaster that I'm praying it should not be, then it was overkill, shutting down the whole nation's economy. But if in 2 weeks' time it is bad, then I would say that the shutting down of businesses is something that has saved us from it being worse.
From close observation, it is quite apparent that a few Nigerians still do not accept that there is something called coronavirus that is spreading really fast. So if you're part of the ones who already accept and know and taking precautions about the coronavirus, you should try as much as possible to educate people around you who still think this is some big, mighty, fat conspiracy. My name is LAWMAKERS, Fearless, and this is how we wrap it up on Pulse TV VoxPop for today. Make sure you keep up with all your precautions. Wash your hands as much as possible. Sanitize yourself. Use gloves if you have to. Use a nose mask. Practice social distancing. Every possible precaution that is necessary, do it and stay safe.